All right, this is the engine bay inspection video of the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. I'm going to apologize up front. It's very windy out here. I'm going to try to speak as loud as I can, and hopefully that overpowers the breeze. So let's get right to it. So we see some abrasion damage or age-related decomposition of this kind of foam insulation. Could be rodent, could be abrasion, could just be age. This foam has a habit of breaking down over time. But it's also, again, it's possible that a rodent got in here. Now, I didn't see any rodent sign underneath the vanity cover here. I'm unable to remove the vanity cover because it's bolted in. Normally, I would pull that up and peek underneath, but I did kind of shine a light under there to see if there's any sort of a rodent sign or anything. I did not see any of that. I also did not see any chewed on or damaged conduit. Like you see this big fat kind of ECM harness, powertrain harness back here. That came back clear. No damage on the front core support. Peeked down in here as best I could. There's a lot of plastic and aero. Peeked down on the left and right. Didn't see any core support damage, any frame or collision damage. We've got missing low service port covers on the high and the low side for the, the high and low side for the AC system. That means at some point in the past, this vehicle has been diagnosed for something, whether that may be low refrigerant, a leak, replace refrigerant, HVAC component. It's really important that these stay covered. It can introduce dirt and debris into the AC system. So what I would normally do is blast these out with some solvent or brake cleaner, then cap them. A good shop will do that next time it's in for service. But you don't want any dust and debris building up in there. That the air conditioner needs to be as clean as possible inside. So there's that. And I'm going to shine a light down here. It might be kind of hard to see. I was able to get on a picture. There is, you kind of see what looks like water down there. That's coolant. So I'm not seeing any drips down below the vehicle. Does that mean it was a spillage? Was the vehicle topped off? Is there a slow leak down there? Could be one, could be the other. There are coolant crossover pipes that do run along the B's of these engines. It's possible that it's a slow leak. It's possible that it's a spill. Coolant takes a long time to cook off. So if this vehicle was serviced anytime when you add coolant here, you may see that. Now, when you spill coolant and it eventually dries, it leaves behind kind of a white crystalline form. It's a glycol. So it'll leave this kind of crystalline powder. I'm not seeing that right here. Now, that being said, it could have been cleaned. It could have been power washed. Again, I'm not seeing any drips on the ground. The cooling system is maintaining pressure and it's cycling as it should. So my opinion of that right there is there is a slow leak going on. There shouldn't be that much coolant in that space for this long, and not seeing any, not seeing any crystallization up top or anything right around here. That valve cover has also been done as well. There's a significant amount of RTV gasket on that valve cover, and so that valve cover has been replaced. With that coolant leak in mind, with that documented puddle of coolant down there, knowing that these are these Chrysler 3.6 pentastars, I cannot pass the engine bay at this time. Thank you. All right, this is the exterior inspection of the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. Again, apologies for the wind. We're going to start at the front left quarter panel. We're looking for panel gaps, changes in paint, deviations in angle, square and true with the rest of the body. These are very thin panels. They're cosmetic. They don't carry the structure of the vehicle. So it's very easy at a low speed impact to shift these panels. And it's a good indicator of collision damage, where even if there was major damage that the mounts underneath had shifted and the panels are no longer true. So we're going to follow these back. We're going to start with the front quarter panel to A pillar, square, coming back around the vehicle, coming to B pillar, square. Now there's some gasketry, a little bit of kind of damage. This here tells me that somebody maybe tried to get in here to unlock the vehicle. Maybe there was a problem here. More than likely there's someone trying to jimmy a lock. They need to lock the keys in the car. You can see that a lot right there. Going around side for the wind, coming around C pillar square, coming around the vehicle. A lot of these little like shopping cart bars and things like that, just surface, superficial clear coat. Coming around the back. See just normal age-related kind of scrapes, luggage scrapes, suitcase scrapes. It's likely this was a kitty hauler. Most of these are rental cars and kitty haulers. Coming around the other side, scrapes here too. That looks more like a low-speed impact. Maybe something kind of came along it. Maybe shopping cart, maybe something like that. Coming around, Checking for square, deviations in metallic flake. Looks good. Following C pillar down, that's square. B pillar up and down, that's square. A pillar square. The upper cargo rack up here in the roof, it gets a clean bill of health. There's no hail damage or any sort of clear coat damage up there. Coming around, we're going to pull on the front bumper cover. We see a clip right here. It's possible the bumper cover was off. It's possible it got a little smacked. Kind of feels like to me like it's a little bit loose in here. Maybe it got curbed and pulled on the front, or maybe it did get smacked. It's fairly tight. I can't tell you with Chrysler Fitment and QC whether it's supposed to be that loose or it had been bumped a little bit. A little bit of deviation right here. Looks like that's actually part of the grill, so it's all one molded piece. Coming around here, pulling on the bottom center cover, and then pulling on front left quarter panel. This one's a lot tighter than the other side, so I'm going to suspect that that one got either kissed a little bit or took a curb. Otherwise, that's very minor. I didn't see any indications of collision damage under the hood, so I'm going to go ahead and give the exterior a pass at this time. Thank you. This is the undercarriage inspection of the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. It's very bright out here, and I can understand it's probably very hard to see on the video. However, I was able to inspect the entire undercarriage. I'll tell you right away, it's pretty leak-free. It is leak-free, and it's pretty rust-free. It's got some of the biggest control arm bushings I have ever seen on a commercial, consumer-level vehicle. Moving to the back, nice thing, same thing, big fatty bushings back here. I can actually see some of the evap sensor plastic molded hoses, the vacuum lines, those are fine. Coming around the back, all the aero is intact under this vehicle. As I peek underneath the aero, I'm not seeing any drips or stains or rust. So that's coming back with a clean bill of health there. There's the exhaust pipe is a good indicator of the rust exposure of a vehicle, and this vehicle is pretty rust free underneath. The exhaust pipe is, I would actually say, not really rusted at all, so that's a good sign. I'm not seeing any rust on the bushings or any rust on any of the exhaust hangers, or any of the front suspension, or any sort of flash oxidation for the aluminum components. It's good to see. In the front, I am able to document the oil pan. It is nice and dry. I'm not seeing any drips or any leaks or anything down onto the exhaust or anything like that. Now, this vehicle does appear that it might be missing a piece of aero under the vehicle that would cover up the oil pan. However, I cannot say for sure. But either case, the oil pan is dry, so I'm going to give the underbelly a clean bill of health. Thank you. Okay, this is the interior inspection of the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. So it's got 3 rows. I have gone front to back on the vehicle. The back 4 seats are clean. The front 2 seats are clean. There's a slight tear in the driver's side up here, maybe like an abrasion from a belt or something up here by the driver's side seat controls. All the infotainment, everything up here works. Now let's talk. The heater control circuit won't let the heater run on the heated steering wheel and the heated seats for any length of time. I don't know if that's a fault in the system or it's because the car has decided that even though it says it's 99 degrees out, it's certainly the driver could not want to have the steering wheel heated as well. Now, the steering wheel has a lot of electronics in it, so I can understand why they wouldn't want this to get too hot. However, I can't understand the seats. There's not quite as much electronics, especially up at the top here in the cushion itself. So I can't tell you right away if that's a fault in the system or it just wants to tell you what to do rather than the driver being able to tell the car what to do. The vehicle drives, the Perndle works just fine. I don't normally like these, but the engagement was nice and positive. The detents are nice and solid in here. You can't twist this without your foot on the pedal. The parking brake does work. It's quite adequate. I pushed against it with the Perndle in drive, and it held the vehicle. 2 issues that I'm going to go ahead and fail this interior on. One, it stinks. It smells like a kitty hauler. It smells like a daycare, kind of play school, kind of pre-K place. Like maybe there's way too many kids in here and way too many French fries. It smells moldy. It smells musty. Now that could also be related to the air conditioning up here. There's virtually no flow. I can feel ice cold air, but it just makes it to my fingertips. Doesn't get any farther. We're set to all the way to 7. The back vents work just fine. These vents don't, and it's nothing to do with the restriction, the variable airflow here. There is no flow out of these vents. The car smells very dank. Doesn't smell good in here. When I open the trunk, I got just a huge whiff of what the only way I can describe it is kind of vaguely like a old bag of dirty diapers that had been in there for weeks, and then someone took it out 2 or 3 weeks ago. But it lingers. I'm not surprised by this. It's a 3-row minivan. It's a kitty hauler, but that's what you let kids eat in the car, and you know, I'd be concerned to pull up all these mats down here, all the carpet, and see what horrors are under the carpet under here, from milkshakes and any sort of manner of stuff that's been in this car and in these seats back here for the last 134,000 miles. So it's almost 100 degrees out here right now. There's zero airflow out here. It's actually cooler outside the vehicle in the breeze than it is in here with the windows up and the AC on, because these vents, the vehicle's black or dark gray, and the front HVAC unit cannot stay ahead of it. There, like I said, there's no airflow here. So just from knowing what I know about the smells and what causes those smells and the nastiness that may be found if you took the interior apart and the blower cabin air filter up here, I'm not going to pass the interior on that. That's disgusting. So the interior does not pass. Thank you very much. Okay, here's the trunk inspection video, and right away I want to document something. This is the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica, so I want to watch how long it takes this trunk to open. Its power, so you can't do anything else but let it do its job. Push the button. Okay, it performed a little bit better on video. I've done this about half a dozen times, and it's absolutely anemic. These power struts wear out, they get old as they age. There's kind of like a screw mechanism in there, and they go bad. So that's coming down the pipe on that. That's a few $100s minimum to replace, and they can start misbehaving and acting really strange. Because this is a power hatch, there's no emergency release back here. If you had to, you have to dig this panel off right up here and stick a screwdriver and all manner of shenanigans in here to get this to release. So to me, that's a safety issue. I understand that there are 4 other doors in this vehicle, but that's still a safety issue if for any reason that you needed to have a rear egress and you couldn't get out of the vehicle. So when these start misbehaving, they become a real safety issue, and I'm not a fan of these. There's also no spare tire back here. It's clean. There's no spare tire, no emergency kit, no roadside kit, no nothing. So this is supposed to be a family hauler. I'm a father myself, and if I looked at the vehicle, you can tell that it wasn't even designed to have it. It's possible there may have been some sort of carrier in here, but I looked all under the vehicle and everything. I couldn't find a spot for a spare tire at all. So as a father, I couldn't buy a vehicle like this and put my whole family in here and not have a roadside kit, a spare tire, any of this stuff, and then feel like I'd have to buy one myself to put in here. So disappointing to see that the lack of caring about roadside in this vehicle. That's an opinion. I am still going to go ahead and give the trunk a pass, with the exception of understanding that this power strut will need to be replaced as soon as possible, or at least this needs to be addressed. It's opening too slow, and again, I've seen these things where they'll go halfway, then they'll come back up, and they won't close. You mess with this for 20 minutes, it won't work right. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give the trunk a pass. Thank you. Okay, this is the code scan portion of the video, for the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. Now, I am pleased to report that really there's no concerns in here. Anything set in here is a battery low voltage. So I went through all these codes. I did not find any concerning transmissions, powertrain, ABS, SRS, any of the big codes, any of the big module codes. What I did find was tons of battery voltage, circuit voltage below threshold. Dealer cars sit, auction cars sit, lot cars sit. So when these vehicles are purchased from auction and they're left parked outside, there's all manner of electronics that are always running all the time to offer features to the owner of the vehicle as the vehicle sits in the driveway, and they will chew through a battery in some vehicles, especially German stuff, in a matter of maybe as slow as a few days, which is why a lot of times in the German vehicles you see batteries that are just big honking things that weigh 50 pounds or whatever. But in this case, the battery is fresh and brand new. It looks like it has been very recently replaced. So when these codes get set, that's what that tells me, is this vehicle sat on a lot and the battery just went down and down and down and down. And as the module started losing power, they started kicking codes. So these are all historical codes that are set in here, and they're all related. So again, I see this all the time with dealers, and it's not a reflection on a problem with the vehicle. It's just from sitting. When the vehicle sits, the battery drains, and it sets these codes. So I am pleased to say I'm going to go ahead and give the scan a clean bill of health. Thank you. All right, this is the conclusions video for the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. Right away, let's go over this. So, drives track straight and true, has plenty of power. The transmission shifts just fine. No underbody leaks, no signs of rust. Suspension felt great, nice and snug and solid. It actually felt nicer than you think a Chrysler vehicle at 136,000 miles would feel. Typically, when these FCA Stilettos products of this age reach this mileage, they're just flat worn out. So it's nice to see that the vehicle at 136K still shifts and drives and has plenty of power, and the suspension still feels nice and snug. The rear brakes are down to about 20%. They don't appear, they're getting a little crusty on the rotor. I suspect they may start to drag. The caliper grease and slide bends probably need service. All 4 tires are in good health. The wheels are good. The exterior gets a pass, like I said in the other video, with the exception of that little ding in the front. Excuse me, the wind. Now let's talk about the 2 things. The engine bay does not get a pass for the coolant leak on the engine. Now if this had been maybe something like a Toyota, a Honda, Subaru, even a Nissan in some cases, I might be more willing to pass it. I'm not willing to pass these pentastars when I find coolant leaks in the V's like that. It tells me there's more than likely there's a slow leak in there. It's going to go from bad into worse. I wouldn't want to see that leave somebody stranded on the side of the road, especially because there is no roadside emergency kit in this vehicle whatsoever. I'm not pleased to see that, and that's factory. That's not the dealer or the owner. And then I failed the interior as well because of just the brightness of the smells and the piss poor performance of the HVAC unit. That's not acceptable. That's something that if you're not a technician or inspector, if you bought this vehicle, you'd notice that right away when it's 95 degrees outside, and you wouldn't try to sell this vehicle with that going on. So that's a concern. So I am failing the engine bay, I'm failing the interior.